Greetings from Fukuoka City. This is Fukuoka University Hospital. This is Fukuoka University. His Holiness Raul B. Dael, Bishop of Tandag, Mrs. Jima A. D. Paz, OIC Schools Division Superintendent, Tandag Division, Reverend Father Cedronico M. de los Santos Jr., School President, Mr. Roland Villamor, Vice President for Administration, Dr. Virgil Leo Gumanoy, Vice President for Academic Affairs, Mr. Artemio L. Oxenula Jr., Junior High School Principal, who personally invited me to be your speaker today. Thank you, sir. Dr. Shaila O. Moreno, General PTA President, parents, friends, guests, and of course the 236 students who will complete their junior high today. Good afternoon to all. Mayong hapon, konnichiwa. It's an honor to be invited to speak before you today. In a graduation or completion ceremony, a certain milestone in one's achievement in life is being celebrated. Most people do it seriously and solemnly, while in Japan, however, students are given the freedom to express themselves in their own artistic ways. Basta dili lang overexposed or offensive, okay ra na sa ilaha. I'm happy to see your theme, strengthening the quality education amid the COVID-19 pandemic, for two reasons. First is for advocating quality education, and the other is because it tells me that you recognize that there is a pandemic. As you may know, there are misguided individuals and groups who continue to deny that there is a pandemic, that COVID-19 is just some global conspiracy instigated by some powerful states or super rich individuals to stifle on our freedom and somehow control us. But with more than 190 million cases and over 4 million lost their lives, if it is not a pandemic, or this is not a pandemic, then there is a serious redefining of what a pandemic is. For me, there's no doubt that a pandemic is going on and it is still ravaging people all over the world as we speak. If we buy into these lies that pandemic is fake, with the current mortality rate of 2.1%, the world at its current population of 7.88 billion would be risking the lives of more than 165 million people. Our country would be risking the lives of more than 2 million people. More and more COVID-19 vaccines are now approved by authorities for emergency use. However, more and more fake information about these vaccines are circulating also. One is that vaccines have microchips. What can I say? It's simply crazy. It's not only that the idea is terrible in itself, the conspiratorial narrative about it is so ridiculous. It's beyond science fiction, and yet many still believe in it. Another is vaccine can or makes the human body magnetic. This is another extreme lunacy. I think we need to review how we teach science in school, especially magnetism in physics. This is an example of the saying that little knowledge is dangerous, or in this particular case, inadequate knowledge could be deadly, in particular during pandemic. This is another one that deserves its right place in the basket of ridiculous. Another issue about the vaccine is that the vaccine for COVID-19 were inadequately studied and developed in response to COVID-19. This is actually partially true because of the speed by which companies conducted clinical trials and used the vaccine under emergency authorization. However, if you review all publications related to RNA vaccine in particular, you will know that the concept, the science, and the technology behind it have been investigated for over 20 years now. So I should say this is 90% false. The US data show that 97% of those hospitalized due to COVID have been among those unvaccinated individuals, while only 3% were vaccinated. This is the true data. While 99.2% of those who died of COVID have been among those unvaccinated. The truth is COVID-19 vaccines are generally safe, and many of these are very effective. COVID vaccine really works. Looking back at the previous pandemics, in 1918, 1957, 1968, and the more recent one in 2009. Worst was the 1918 flu pandemic, which claimed 1 to 3% of the world's population. If we extrapolate that to today's population, it would mean 78 to 236 million lives lost. But it happened more than 100 years ago. The scientific knowledge today, health-related technologies we have today, and the ability to disseminate information as rapidly as we can today were different during that time. If we look at the number of biomedical articles published year on year, we could say that there is a rapid increase of biomedical knowledge over a few decades earlier than today, compared to 100 years ago. If we also compare the actions taken in response to the pandemic by the Philippines to that by Japan, the Philippines imposed several travel restrictions and several lockdowns, while in Japan no such restrictions or travel or lockdowns within the country. But the people here strictly followed advice or guidance about masking and social distancing. The level of discipline demonstrated by the Japanese people may have contributed in minimizing the impact of the disease in Japan. I believe that this is one of the reasons why Japan is doing better than the Philippines in controlling the pandemic, even without lockdowns and travel restrictions. In addition to the discipline demonstrated by the people here in Japan, and we cannot also deny that they have more advanced technology in terms of healthcare and they also have very excellent healthcare system. Example is their high doctor to population ratio. They all help in saving more lives of the COVID patients, meaning they have more doctors than in our country. In 2018, I delivered a commencement speech in MSU College of Medicine, during which I mentioned the importance of online networking, in particular during a pandemic. These online networks are very important in monitoring patients and gathering real-time data that can be shared by healthcare providers, a system that is very important during pandemics. Telemedicine during a pandemic, when travel is not allowed and human contact is restricted. This is the medical version of your online learning. During pandemic, medical specialists or experts can provide services to several medical centers through an online system. Because of the internet and the extensive global network today, some experts even consider the whole planet as a global mega organism. However, this globalized and liberalized sharing of information come with a price, the risk of spreading false and malicious information. During a pandemic, infodemic or massive amount of information about the pandemic itself is a big challenge to everyone, particularly to the health professionals. Challenges on how to send the right information to the public and how to counter misinformation. Kay daghay gusto makisawsaw sa information, daghay sources, nagkalaylay nga sources sa information. Sometimes the doctors are busy na ang mga doktor o health professional tungod sa COVID, mas na busy pa gyud in countering misinformation about COVID. A search of publications about COVID-19 would give us over 160,000 articles that are properly reviewed by experts before publication, while a search about COVID-19 vaccine would give us over 9,000. Can you imagine the amount of materials our expert scientists have been reviewing and analyzing just to come up with an accurate science-based conclusions, expert opinions, and recommendations that they can provide the public? Most of these individuals spent years of studies and have been into this kind of research and practice for decades. Ano gitawag silang mga experts? And yet, kaning uban bisag walay background sa medical science, makabasa lang og pipila ka articles about COVID, about vaccine, mga fake pagyud ang sources nga uban, feeling na dayon nila nga mas kabalo pa sila kaysa experts. Now, if we really have quality education, then we could say that any educated person should be able to know how to get the right information from the right sources. It is but common sense for us to assume that on matters of health, among the authoritative source of information are the medical doctors that you can trust, the Department of Health, the World Health Organization, and the Center for Disease Control. As I've said in my previous speeches, it's my belief that the degree of our conviction to science determines our level of maturity as intelligent beings. In 2019, I was also invited to give a keynote speech at a physics convention with the theme Physics and Social Transformation. In that talk, I highlighted the importance of online technology in many public service systems that are still often chaotic in the Philippines, which is rarely happening in Japan because they extensively use online systems when transacting in government agencies. Online system in public safety, and then online system against the threat of terrorism. For me, science is about finding better options and more efficient ways to manage things. As the amount of information and shared human knowledge increases considerably, it would become necessary for our school systems to invest in certain technologies that would make us, our students, learn in a more efficient manner. As I've said before, that the level of efficiency in our government and public systems, including education, determines the degree of social transformation science has brought about into our society. It is therefore important that we cultivate scientific minds among our students, because I believe that the quality of our education is determined by the level of our scientific knowledge and understanding. Unfortunately, it seems we in the Philippines still lag behind the rest of the world. The Philippines ranked lowest among 58 countries in math and science, according to Trends in International Mathematics and Science Study 2019. It's still a long way to go for us. I completed high school here in STC. Shown here is a picture of me on our graduation album, year 1981. From this, kabalo na mo unsa nako ka tigulang. Our batch, class 1981, is planning to have a grand reunion next year. So we created a Facebook group where we can communicate and share memories of our high school years. Everyone is sharing old pictures, mga karuga during those years. Notably, dili ko ninyo makita sa mga pictures. Why? It's because I never had a chance to join them during that time. On my free time, I would rather go to San Miguel sa farm namo and mutabang ko sa ako mama farming to earn our living. We lost our father when I was in grade 6. After his death, life became more challenging for the whole family. At the farm, I used to look up at the night sky and dreamed of going to the moon someday. Even today, I'm still fascinated by the vastness of the universe. Although my childhood dream was to become an astronaut, but because I didn't have the resources to pursue my dream, any opportunity that came my way became part of my alternative dream. Mao nang maayo sa usahay kaning wala tay takwarts kay kung unsay naa, sige, okay lang. If plan A doesn't work, go to plan B. If plan B dili sad, plan C, plan D, and so on. Mao na nga palpak ako plano nga mag-astronaut, nag-doktor o nag-PhD na lang. Kinsa man sa inyo dire taga San Miguel? I'm sure wala pa mo natawo when I served as Municipal Health Officer sa San Miguel between 1996 and 1999. That was before I came here in Japan. To the students, I believe that as early as now, you already have some plans in life, and perhaps that such plan is part of your reason for going to school or studying. If your reason for studying is to become rich or richer someday, you are actually right, because higher education correlates with higher income. Kinsa man gud ang dili gusto madato. For me, however, I believe that one's success should be measured not only by how much money a person makes, but more importantly, is by the significance of his contributions to the society or to humanity in general. So if you are a teacher, your success should be measured by the quality of materials you are teaching your students, and in turn, the quality of graduate you help produce. If you are a scientist, your success should be measured by the significance of scientific information you have contributed to the general scientific knowledge. If you are a farmer, your success should be measured by how much you've improved your farming techniques over time, and how much you have shared that knowledge to the farming community. If you are a fisherman, your success should be measured by how much you valued our marine and aquatic resources, and by teaching others the importance of protecting them for future generations. What I am saying is that you can be successful in a meaningful way regardless of the kind of profession you have. Before ending my talk, I would like to say that despite our advanced scientific knowledge today, our future remains generally unknown or uncertain. But humanity always faces it with hope. And our scientific knowledge gives us the edge to succeed and better odds of survival. I will also be giving out small gifts to the first 10 students who will subscribe to my YouTube channel and give comments related to my talk. Congratulations! Good luck to the students, and to each and everyone, let science be a guide in your life. Thank you. Greetings from Fukuoka City. This is Ohori Park. The other side of the lake is the Fukuoka Art Museum. This is Fukuoka Pei Dome. This is Hawks Town, close to Fukuoka Pei Dome. This is Fukuoka Tower. This is Fukuoka City Library. This is Fukuoka City Museum. Okay.